Hey, so today's behind the scenes story of Disney animation is the secret test that was done at Disney for Roger Rabbit 2. This was a secret animation test. And why I say that, it's not just secret to the public, it was secret within Disney animation. I even worked on the test and did not know the full extent of this test because it was a secret. So what we were told was they were thinking about making Roger Rabbit 2, and this was early days of computer animation. And so a small team of us, just a few handful of animators, were going to do this like 5 scene sequence that had been storyboarded. They brought in Charles Fleischer to do the voice of Roger. He was the original voice, and they'd shot the live action for it. And what we were told was that we were going to animate Roger, and there were some shots of the weasels too. And those were all going to get animated by a small group of us and cleaned up and colored and the whole bit. I don't even think I ever saw the finished test of this. I don't know how it all turned out. But what we were told was the test was to do CG or 2D of Roger, but that all the props in it that he would interact with would be computer animation. So like the hat and the table that animates in, and then the hat that Roger pops out of that you'll see in a minute. All that was going to be computer animation, and just Roger was 2D. And the reasoning was that, oh, this is the new way to do it. We don't have to have real props and things like that. So they wanted to see how that would look with the 2D and the CG integration within the live action. All right, that made sense, right? Well, what we didn't know was there was a secret test within that test. So what they were going to do is take my key shot that I did, and they were then going to give it to some CG animators within Disney, within the same building I was working in. I still didn't even know about this. Nobody did. And so then they were going to take my 2D animation and create a CG animated Roger model, and then copy frame by frame my animation in 2D into CG. So with this test being what we're going to call test number 2, was to see if they could do Roger in computer animation also, not just the props, but Roger also, because they were thinking about replacing all of us animators in 2D and going completely CG with Roger Rabbit 2. This is why it was a secret. If we would have found out, we would have been all up in arms and stressed about our jobs. Well, come to think of it, that's what ended up happening anyway. So this is the first time ever seeing my 2D animation and then the CG animation of Roger Rabbit right after it that they used my test. You could tell us, which one do you think's better?
So what do you think, big fella? Gotta dance. Gotta dance. So what do you think, big fella?